So Lee Carsley has just announced his first England squad as the new manager. So I'm going to be doing a live reaction to the squad that has literally just come out on my phone. So I'm going to be telling you my instant thoughts straight away. There's no prep going on involved, but do smash the like button and please do subscribe for lots more content coming your way. So let's start off with the goalkeepers. It's Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope. It's really what we'd expect. I'm not really too fussed about it. With the goalkeepers, you know exactly it's going to be one of kind of four that will really start. Let's be honest, we know exactly how it's going to go. It's going to be Jordan Pickford, but I don't mind that at all. But let's just move on to the defenders straight away, and there's a name that stands out for me straight away. It is Tino Livramento. Now, I'm quite glad to see him in the squad, especially with the recent news that's come out today that Kieran Trippier has announced his retirement from international football. So we needed a left back coming through, and with Luke Shaw never really ever being fit, he really is fit for about 4 or 5 games a season. So we needed kind of that new player to kind of blend in over time, but he's been made to show his cards. He had to make a decision fast, so I don't mind that. Tino Livramento, a really solid left back. I'm not too fussy about that at all. And I know some people have said, oh, maybe it could have been a Lewis Hall, but I think Tino Livramento, I know he plays on the right and he can play on the left, so I don't mind that in the squad at all. So then the other defenders, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, expected. Levi Colwill, he's had a good start to the season so far. I don't mind that at all. Mark Gahey, another solid player who we know exactly how good he was. He's probably, arguably the best player for England at the Euro, so I'm happy with that. Ezri Konsa, yeah, solid. Rico Lewis is one that I'm really glad to see. Now, this is a player that I really like. He's had a really good start to the season so far for Manchester City. A player that can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can kind of drop into centre mid, and that's what I really like. I like the fact, though, that with this squad, we're going to talk about this so often, is that Lee Carsley is blending in a lot of youth players. Now, we saw this at the start with Southgate. You kind of blending in these youth players so that then in 3-4 years' time we could then say all of these youth players have got bags full of experience. So I'm glad to see these kind of players getting their chances in conference leagues, in these kind of games, because that's where you want to see them playing in the UEFA Nations League. Those are the games where they need to get some caps under their belts and they've got a bit of experience then for the bigger tournament. So I'm glad to see that Rico Lewis is in there. Harry Maguire, I don't mind that at all. I know on this channel I've been saying I never really got him playing for England. I don't think he was good enough. But Harry Maguire has had a really good start to the season so far for Manchester United. So I'm not going to complain with that. I don't mind that at all. He's in the squad. I don't want him really being playing for the future. I'd prefer Gahey to be playing and starting, or Colwell. But I do think he's in there kind of to give some experience to a lot of the youth and younger players, so I don't mind that. John Stones as well, solid choice. Now onto the midfield. Now there's one player for me that stands out in the midfield choices, and that's Angel Gomez. Now Angel Gomez, we do know, if you've watched any highlights and read up anything about Lee Carsley, this was his man. He was playing in a deeper lying playmaker role. He was kind of playing in that deep role and driving, moving the ball on, taking the ball on the half turn on the edge of his box. This is a man he trusts, so I don't mind that. You're always going to get that when a new manager. You saw it with Maresca taking Dewsbury Hall. It's managers keep trusting in players, taking them with them. And to be honest, Angel Gomez, from everything I've read, I know he had an injury at the start of the season. I think it was a concussion injury, and he's now okay. For Lille, he's had a good couple of seasons. He's only 23, so he's still young, but I don't mind that in the squad. I know some people are going to be thinking, what on earth is he doing? He's just in there just because this is a man he trusts. He wants somebody in the camp that will back him, that will believe him. So I don't mind that at all, really. And again, as I said, blending in these youth players, and it's something a little bit different, because we've said it before, the centre-mid positions isn't the strongest point for England. Phil Foden, don't mind that at all. Conor Gallagher, again, don't mind that. Kobe Mainoo, don't mind it. Cole Palmer, don't mind it. Declan Rice. And then the next player is Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, this is a player that I believe was knocking just on the door for so long, and I like the fact that Lee Carsley's given him his chance because, again, as I said, getting a couple of caps under his belt is not going to do him any harm. This is a guy who's been on the fringe, has been spoken about now for a long time, and I'm glad, again, to see Carsley taking risks, putting his stamp on this England side by giving these kind of players chances. So I don't mind Morgan Gibbs-White getting a chance whatsoever. You know exactly what you're going to get. He's a playmaker and he creates things, and I think a lot of people are saying, where are the likes of Maddison? Personally, I think on form, and has been for a while now, Gibbs-White, for me, is ahead of Maddison in that position on form. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all. And again, getting in a player that he trusts, he's managed him and coached him in the under-21 setup. So, again, I don't mind that at all. But the midfield is exactly really what you'd expect, bar those two players. Now, again, the attack is pretty much standard. It's exactly what you'd expect, bar 2 players. Now, Jarrod Bowen you'd expect, Eze you'd expect, Anthony Gordon you'd expect, Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins, Bukayo Saka. I'm completely fine with all of those. And then there's 2 players which have shocked everyone. One being Noni Madueke. Now, Madueke has had a good start to his Chelsea career. I don't think he's been awful, like he's been good. I would say, yeah, solid. It's been okay. But he's got a flying start this season, especially this weekend. It's not going to do him any harm getting a hat-trick against the Wolves. He's a player that, again, Lee Carsley has had in England at youth setup. He's a player that is exciting. Again, I don't mind it because I'd have been a bit more annoyed if he'd have picked the likes of Marcus Rashford's or your Raheem Sterling's, those kind of players, or Jadon Sancho, the ones that aren't performing. Form-wise, Madueku's had a good start to the season. He's exciting. And again, blending in these youth players, giving them their chance and giving them get some time to get some caps. And again, this UEFA Nations League is a time to experiment. So I like this again. New players in the camp. It's exciting. It's keeping everything fresh and reminding players that there's competition within the squad. So again, I'm happy with that. Then the other player is Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish is one that I didn't expect to see, especially with the fact that he hasn't really been playing for Manchester City. And on form-wise, for about a year and a half now, he hasn't been that solid. But what I really like is the way that Jack Grealish spoke recently in an interview. He said he was gutted. He said he was heartbroken they didn't make the England Euro squad. So he's going to be hungry. He's going to have that desire, which is exactly what you want. And so you're getting him in there. Again, it's part of the competition thing, and it's getting a really interesting mentality for this squad that it's like dog eat dog. You've got to perform for club and for country. So this is Jack Grealish's moment for a bit of redemption, maybe. He's maybe seen that hunger in him and said, you know what, you've got to get in the squad. So again, it's not something, I'm not over the moon with it because I do prefer it when we pick players on form, but he's got enough credit in the bank that it's not a crazy decision. But overall, I think looking at this squad, it's quite exciting. As I've just said, he's given some of the players that you wouldn't expect a chance to get a chance, but it's youth, which I don't mind at all. As I always say with England, it's all about getting young, hungry players in for these UEFA Nations League games, to be knocking on the door, to be pushing those other players. Now, there's a few players that some people have been saying, oh, they should have been in the squad. For me, Maddison, I don't think he's performed well enough now for quite a while. When he first joined Tottenham, I thought he was brilliant, but then he got that injury quite early on. And then since then, I don't think he's been the player that we've expected. Obviously, Solanke's carrying an injury. Bellingham's carrying an injury. Bar that, I don't think there's too many players really that should really be in with the discussion. Bar that, I'm happy with the entire squad, and I'm excited to see how we play. Is it going to be in a new system? Are we going to play a bit more expansively? Which is what I think everyone's expecting. If you've watched any of Lee Carsley's previous teams in the England under-21 setup, it was quite expansive football. It was quite progressive play, which, looking at this squad, it's a progressive team. There's a lot of young, as I said, exciting players in there. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this first squad. There's not really anything in there that kind of gives me a red flag or any alarm bells that are ringing in my head at the moment. I know some people will instantly go, Harry Maguire, what on earth's going on? You've got to, in this moment, Lee Carsley's got to come in. It's simpler. It's similar to when Milner first started in his game for Brighton under the new manager. It's kind of, if you look at the experience, you've got to pick some experienced heads to be in there that just can help calm everyone down and kind of help with this new transition to play under a new manager. But as I said, I'm excited. Lee Carsley has done a good job so far. I'm happy with this first squad, and I'll be doing some match reactions for the games on this channel. But if you haven't already, please do smash the like button. Please do subscribe and click that notification bell. But let me know, are you happy with the squad? I'm buzzing. I think this is a really good squad. But as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching. Book out Sam. Over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.